Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Ultimate Bucket List, and on today's show, I'm here at the Eiffel Tower. Join me as I show you what it's like at the top. The Tour Eiffel, or the Eiffel Tower in English, is Paris's most famous landmark, and it's the most visited attraction here in the city of Paris. But what's it like to actually go around? I highly recommend that you get off at Trocadero metro station. It's not the closest metro station by any means, but the reason why is because you can literally walk around the corner and you'll be met with this platform with a very lovely view of the tower. I highly recommend taking lots of pictures here, but don't be one of those guys that tries to hold up the Eiffel Tower. Try go down a level and there's plenty of places for you to sit on a ledge and take pictures with the Eiffel Tower in the background. Don't be surprised if you come across a few weddings here, as Paris is a very romantic city and lots of people choose to get married here. Take a short walk toward the Eiffel Tower, and you really don't mind the walk because of the lovely views that you get when you're walking towards it. It's actually as big as you think it is. Now, a quick word of warning. There's lots of street hustlers who will try and take money away from you, and lots of street sellers trying to sell you street crap. Don't take these guys on for love nor money. But when you do get to the entrance, you'll notice that the queues are pretty long, especially if you don't have a pre-booked ticket. So if I were you, I would book online and book a time slot and arrive there. The queue would be significantly shorter than if you were just to turn up on the fly, but it's still pretty long anyway. And believe it or not, this is just the queue to get through security. Security is pretty tight here, and this queue actually took about 25 minutes to actually go through. And it only allows you access to the Eiffel Tower Park. You've not got anywhere near the Eiffel Tower itself, although having said that, it's a pretty nice park. You'll need to go through another lot of security and queue again, and this time for about half an hour, just to get to the lifts of this place. And it can get quite tiresome, especially with a very slow moving queue. But once you're at the front of the queue, it's pretty crowded and you'll be waiting a while to actually go into the lift. But once you're in the lift, it's actually quite a pleasant ride up. The views from the lift are actually quite nice. That is, unless you're scared of heights, then it's probably not a good idea. It's actually kind of cool to see the lift level out, which is pretty awesome. And when you do get to the second floor, the views are absolutely stunning. Yes, the views are actually worth it if you get the lift for the second floor. And there's two sections of it. There's the upper floor without a railing, and there's the lower section where there's a cage to prevent you falling for your death. That is, just in case you wanted to commit suicide. I can't imagine you would. The views out here are absolutely to die for, no pun intended. Take your time to explore this place, guys, because this is about as quiet as it's going to get, because if you choose to go up a little bit further, it's going to get significantly busier. So take your time and take lots of pictures. But obviously, I didn't come all this way just to sit on the second floor. No, I'm here to go all the way to the top. Now, the top of the Eiffel Tower, you can't buy a ticket to the top on the day. You have to literally book in advance online, and surprise surprise, the queue to the top is pretty outrageous. You'll be spending another 20 to 25 minutes queuing for the lift to get to the top floor, so yeah, be prepared for that. And once again, don't be surprised if there is a lot of unpleasant people trying to elbow you out of the way. But the lift ride to the top is actually kind of cool, and you don't realise how high you go until you're actually in the lift. And then it becomes immediately obvious. When you get to the top, it's quite crowded because it's significantly smaller than the second floor, but the views up here are simply worth it. So if you do want the overall highest view of Paris, this is pretty much the way to go. If you're feeling flush with money, you can buy champagne and caviar at a very inflated price, and you can check out Gustave Eiffel's office. He actually used to work up here, and his office is still relatively intact. But take your time to absorb the views and take lots of pictures here, guys, because the views are pretty damn amazing. are these views as good as the ones on the second floor? I think so, and is it actually worth the money to go up here? I'm 50-50, but obviously you can make up your own mind on that. But anyway, there's other interesting bits, such as places to kiss. I tried to kiss somebody, nobody kissed me back, what a shame. And it tends to get quite crowded up here, so if I were you, when it gets busy like this, take the lift back down to the second floor. By the way, there's also various gift shops and various eateries on the second floor just in case you get hungry or want to spend some money. And if you did want to climb the stairs up or down, you can do, but I seriously couldn't be bothered with that. The first floor is infinitely more roomier, there's a lot more space to move around, and in general, the views are very similar. They've even got their own winery on the first floor. This somewhat glass floor, which is... it's quite sturdy. Break, damn it! Oh, never mind. Anyway, there's different things to see when you're up here, such as video presentations, things that show you how the Eiffel Tower works, and overall, if you did want to eat in that swanky restaurant, you can do, but it's seriously overpriced. Take the lift back down once you get bored of this, and that pretty much concludes your stay of the Eiffel Tower. Be sure to explore the park on your way out, but if I were you, I would head towards the back of the Eiffel Tower, towards the Champ de Mars, whereby you've got the best picture opportunities of the Eiffel Tower itself. Create some distance between you and the tower, and you've got some interesting photo opportunities, especially with various lakes and ponds in front of you. As good as this is during the day, I highly recommend coming back at night. The Eiffel Tower glows up like a Christmas tree at night, and they put on this sparkly magical light show on the hour every hour, and it's kind of cool to sit back, chill out with a wine or a beer and just watch the tower glow. The darker it gets, the more glowy it gets, and I highly recommend that you do the exact same thing, i.e. go to Trocadero and absorb some of the views and enjoy the light show, especially when it's on a day like this where you can see the light beams for miles on end. I highly recommend that you do this again at night. But overall guys, even though it's a pain in the ass to queue for everything, I highly recommend that you do this at least once in your life. Okay Nin, I'm sold. What do I need to do? Well, you need to come here to the Eiffel Tower. It's served by about 3 different metro stations, and I highly recommend that you start off at Trocadero because it gives you some nice views of the tower from up high. You can actually walk to the Eiffel Tower, but using the metro is infinitely easier. The cost to do it? Well, it all depends on whether or not you want to use the lift or the stairs, and whether or not you want to go to the top or not. The prices are on the screen. Security is really tight, and I highly recommend that you look at the rules before you go in because they might confiscate things off you. And obviously, as mentioned throughout this video, the queuing is a real pain in the ass. It really is busy, and don't be surprised if you spend more time queuing than you spend actually at the tower itself. But I highly recommend that you do this anyway, even if the queues are a bit of a pain in the backside, and if you have enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, share and subscribe. Comment on the comment section below, and if I get enough ideas for another bucket list, feel free to tweet them at me, and if I get enough suggestions, I will go ahead and do that. So guys, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.